Hey everyone, it's Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is the Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is my first ever playthrough of the Ace Attorney Chronicles, and we're talking about the Battle of the Guardian. That's actually a really funny way to put it, isn't it? That's a really funny phrasing, I suppose. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. I can't recall the reason now. I can recall it very much so, actually, sir. If you want to believe what happened, it was basically that she thought he was a big cheater. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out, though, and got it to the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed if one or two went missing, I'm afraid. Yeah, but this is a very important knife. We're gonna press that. That's a very important knife, dude. If that baldy thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think. There's only one statement I'd really like to press, and that's the one where he was like, we wouldn't have noticed. I think you would notice that particular knife. It's a very, like, if you can look at the knife very quickly, just, like, before we do anything. Like, this is beautiful. Like, look at the wood is, like, beautifully designed. The knife itself is big enough that it could, like, look at that. I'm sorry, but, like, whoever, like, designed this did a really good job. I would notice this one going missing out of a group of knives. Because there's a clear reason why he has it, you know what I mean? It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although, the entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take offensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield you're just a gnat's whisker away from death at any moment. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here? Well, I must say, I'm dubious that his testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. I don't think so. Van Ziek's may be well right. We'll try. Whatever the chances. We only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth. So this is our last one? Yes, I'm afraid so. Yeah. Wait, something as well like, and you guys might be able to tell me this, maybe if I were able to get, but actually I'm recording in bulk now, so I used to be able to have you guys tell me stuff as well. This here. The knife isn't sharp at the end, isn't it? Or is that just, is that an animation choice? I don't know. I'm thinking something like that is probably going to come up then in the future, maybe, about if it is. If not, it's just going to go on like it's an art style choice that's different. Yes, on the day you're referring to the wife. Oh, we know which one we're going to press. It's the third statement. Or the fourth statement, is it? Plenty nice around our place. I can't say I've noticed it. Yeah, the fourth statement we're going to press. Sorry, would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to spotted carving, you see. Pipes and whatnot. Fishing tackle, you know, the sort of thing. Pipes? You carve pipes? It's a passion we both share. I'd like to carve a little wooden trinket too. And then there's my leatherwork. Sorry to say, we're all losing knives about the place, and we have dozens of things. They sell them at the market sometimes. 20 for the price of 19. You just say I snapped them up. So they have a collection of knives. Okay, so okay. I guess this statement wasn't the one we should have pressed. John prefers to use 2 knives at the meal times 2 instead of another knife and fork. Now, Jen, we don't want people thinking, oh, she still has it in her. Here we go again with the scaldings. Why are they being so evasive? Imagine because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim. Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still. Go on with your testimony, witnesses. Sir. It was that bally thing in the victim's back. Really was one of ours. You'll have our job proven, I think. So we don't, like, that statement's... Wait, no, I wanted to go to the other statements. Okay, we'll go do this then. That's the extent of the testimony, is it? What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. I can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony, but we'll have to. But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident. Yes, I know. So it's the knife we're focusing on for sure. I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that if, in fact, a knife belonged to one of them and caused the victim's injury. If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything. Yes, it would. So for Saseki-san's sake, we must find that crucial piece of evidence. Okay, so let's see what else we can press here then. So we have, yes, on the day you're referring to my wife and I did have a bit of skirmish. Can't call the reason now. I don't think the reason is as important. Knocked in the candlestick over and set fire to the carpet and soon had it out. And then got the window. Okay, so the window. We have to talk about the window at least, I guess. And the fire also spread some items of furniture, didn't it? I don't want to press every statement every single time. But like, if we have to, we will. I do it sometimes because there's like nothing there. I thought there was something there with the fourth statement. But, yeah. If we have to go back and press the first statement, we can as well. It's not a big deal. Just so happens there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. A most precarious situation to put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw water from the public water pump during the day if you see it. If you need any, you see. The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe. The defendant, Mr. Natsumi, you mean? Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know, from his own country. A stipend. Can't you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off. Have you actually seen the state of the man? I believe he uses all of his income to buy books. Well, anyway, the point is I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough. Okay, so nothing from that. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could to find to throw at him. Okay, so what did you throw at him then? Even though the room was on fire? As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than our friend when the woman wanted to go on the throne. This is most certainly not true of Susaru Takedown, Mr. Naruto. How did you know I was thinking of that? So please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items you threw at your husband that day? In all honesty, I did recall, but I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, a garlic. Oh.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, bud. Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garrity. Don't shoot. Sorry. I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remarks just now just bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance now. Just that barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. The books, bricks, and the fire poker seem to recall. Ouch. She was like saying all these really soft items, and the woman's aim is uncanny. She lands directly with every bally. Good grief, woman, we're not at home now. This is a court of law. Oh, dearie me. Ever so sorry, dear. What's she even doing with a teapot in here? Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously. Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened? Your pipe? Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles she did. Yes. And I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. Oh, that's why it's taped up. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see, your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now. Huh, you are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear? I wonder if I should make this yeah, of course. We're gonna do anything here. The defense believes Mrs. Garrity's remarks just now are to be of great significance. Shut up. This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife and pipes, as well as hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom perhaps is but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense might say. Nothing about this trial has been common sense, so don't start this now, Judge. Might one? In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to integrate yourself with a young lady. She's 16, dude. Very well, the court will now accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. The pipe is now, so Mr. Garrity's pipe finally fell from the floor, so we have to explore this right away. No, you didn't, no. I was just feeling rather disappointed that your request was turned down. Oh, no, it's fine. Thanks, Susaru-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Yeah, she's fantastic. Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Garrity. Now, if you could return to the crux of the matter, let's look at the pipe. You guys have got me examining stuff right away. So we have the bandage. It looks to be in a sorry state with the bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me, like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garrity's dressing gown. I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Garrity, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this. Either that, or he can't afford to replace it. Oh my lord, dude, you should not be smoking this. Holy hell. Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there. Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What is this? It's a tiny fragment of metal, covered in tea. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. Oh, so there is it. Okay, there we go. It's not an artistic choice. Sure, it couldn't be a small piece of metal that looks like it might be the tip of a knife blade. It was getting stuck inside the bowl of Mr. Guardian's pipe. What do we present this on, though? What can you tell about corporate life to attract a figure? Plenty of nice runaways. Can't say I've noticed if one or two are missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's back is one of ours, you'll have to drop proving, I think. I love that they basically were just like, come on then, come and get me. Mr. Garrity, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You can ask, but I can't see a bally thing. You can't? You used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course. But that was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest. Oh, he does, dearie me. It's rather wearing to be asked about every other letter in every other word. You must be very busy. What is that, a tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of the blade. And what may appear to be just a tiny scrap is a fact of crucial. So it's a part of the knife is what we're saying, is what we're going to say. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? In the pipe, dude. Did you not see us shaking out the pipe? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garritian's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how it got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? I was suggesting that it's in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road. Smack! That looks like it hurts every single time. I am. Any quick nod, my neck would break. He is way well put together. When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record. I believe this tiny fragment of metal would unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. Oh my god, the burnt arse! You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well. Present the pertinent evidence to the court. So, presented as this fragment of metal reveals, is it the knife itself? Is that what you have to present? Because, like, I think then, like, if we're saying, like, the, what you call it? Like, what's it called? What is it, like, the jackknife? Yeah, because we're saying it's a part of the jackknife. Well, yeah, I think it's okay. This is a knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see there's a small piece of the tip of the blade missing. A common issue with inferior blades sold in unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in the victim's bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt the tip has suffered a similar fate now, languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim. Whoa, no, it's not. It's not. We have it here, dude. Don't try that. That's not the case. The tip of this particular knife blade is the very fragment metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Guardian's pipe. Oh wow, he took some damage there. That was like a Yu-Gi-Oh damage taking. I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. Good golly gosh. Order, order. Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? So Van Zieks has figured out, has he? Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is, when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Gardiade's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. I knocked it clean out with a soft projectile she did. Yes, it would never have been sent. Yeah, we know this part. Yeah, it just happened, I think, like 10 minutes ago. Oh my god, the facial, all the two of them. Oh, dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred, just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mr. Gardiade flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Gardiade, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord. Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Gardiade's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1, but it was there, and yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Gardiade's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below. Oh gosh, oh dear, oh. There we go. Oh, is she standing on a box? Objection. You can object all you want, but it better be good. You can't just be like, I disagree. Throw your wine. If you throw that wine glass, you are the biggest ugly man in the world. A full-body theory, I'll give you that. Oh, you didn't throw it. Well done. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Oh, allow me to toast to my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Bottling? But after all, it's just a theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because, you see, it's spoilt by an insurmountable inconsistency. Insurmountable? What? Van Zieks, explain yourself. What is the inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... That's right. You silly little man. Now, Jono thing, what are you getting excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of this case once more. The victim was walking along to the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. And the knife it struck had fallen from above. There's no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back. Hmm? What's that? What's that? Prove it. Prove it. But what if, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, so, like, the book was thrown first, clearly, because she was able to grab the book, right? What if it was the book, like... Oh! Maybe she bent over to pick up the book, and then it fell into her back? It would have struck her in the top of her head. She bent over to pick up the book. She bent over to pick up the book. She bent over to pick up the book. No, shut up, shut up, shut up, guys. Shut up, you're not doing the fire thing yet. You're not doing the fire thing yet. Stop it. Stop it, no fire. No fire. It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. If the theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your whole life is an inconsistency. Learn, my little friend, is history. We were close, I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track, but now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency. The theory will stand. Yes, Susanoo! My girl! You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruto. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed the correct, there's a way to present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. The information you will need is there. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tactic. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed. I have a burnt arse. Objection. Here we go. He had his head down when he said that. Oh, he did have his head down when he said that. That's so cool. This just mean I am. Oh my god. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deep for the truth. Yes. It's the knife fell on the victim from above. There's no way that could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife fell. Oh, it's a book. She bent over to pick up the book, and she got stabbed in the back. She bent over, picked up the book, and she got stabbed in the back. Utter madness. Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece of the puzzle. If I can successfully make this, yeah, well, let's do it. The evidence of the book. She picked up the book. The fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. Oh, the music as well, the bird book. Is that not Mr. Gardine's book? It is. It is Mr. Gardine's book. And to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so. A part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene. No, but he found her like that as well. He found her like that. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beaton made an extremely enlightening statement at that point. He said he found her like that, so that's why he did it. But what made you place the book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, it's because that's how I found it. When we first went out to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in our hand. In other words, the victim had already picked up the book of her own volition. And clearly that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. That's not my voice. That's a different voice. This is not my voice either. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she had been doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? She picked it up and then got stabbed. By jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what might have happened now. Oh, dearie me. You know it too, buddy. We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Gardaí house onto the pavement below. At precisely that moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her. The book I threw? Yes, Mr. Gardaí. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you're walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Yeah, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Where's the proof? But we can't imagine, but I suppose. What would you suppose? What would you suppose, my lovely, huh? She might have reached out. Oh my god, and she's so adorable. Look at this lady. She's very adorable. Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. Oh heavens. And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been? What position would it have been in? Then, in the very next moment while the woman was still bent over picking up the book. Yeah, dude, this is exactly what we said. It feels good when this happens. Oh, the knife fell then, full force. It hit off the window and then slid down. I think it's still probably pretty hard. It's harder to think that would happen than anything else. But I totally get what he's getting at here. You know what I mean? It's what we got. Like, you know, and realistically, I think you can't add realism to every one of these games. You just can't. It's not going to be the way things go. By walking by chance directly behind Miss Green was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Well, I never. It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor in the dark of the fog, but he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. Oh! And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Oh my god. This was an intense case. Like, I liked it. I actually liked it. I think the last trial was fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite in the entire series. I think, you know, it's hard to follow up that trial, but still. The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wonder if perhaps it might have been something like that. There, O'Bean. She's not dead. Poor Mrs. Garday. That wouldn't be murder at all, though, right? That wouldn't even be nearly murder. Like, wouldn't even be manslaughter. You're throwing something out your window, like, or throwing something and it accidentally falls out the window. Would that be manslaughter? I don't know. It was all my fault, wasn't it? That might get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. The lady is the one who picked up the book. If I saw a book falling from a window, I'm walking by it. I'm leaving it. It's all right. I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry. They do love each other. It's just a very different kind of love. That would not be the position I'd try to pick her up with, but hey, look. So there we go. An interesting end to this trial. If it is ending, you know, we might be like, objection. Susato, one more thing. It's been bothering me. Since it's been taken to the infirmary, it would appear that today's events have left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There was no cause for concern. Yes, Romulus himself, they caused what could easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to repair themselves for the consequences of their actions. Nah, man, just let everyone just forget about everything in this trial. Everyone just get off scot-free. There's some good news, however, my lord. I've just word from the hospital where the victim was being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will gain consciousness soon. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time. We've never once met her. How wonderful. The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, it is good news. So, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Yes. On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it's me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Pete said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she'd been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain. Now, but I still can't get used to the life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in my fog. Like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has gotten the better of him. Yes, poor man. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I managed to create a rift in a relationship between our two empires. And for that, I'm truly sorry. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. The music is so good, one that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by the spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zeeks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh. We did kind of work together towards the end. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask you one time for a decision regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion.
I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me that was for...
Oh, she's still there? So, oh god, sitting over the old Nothing about this is right. Who cares at this point? Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out here and start work? Well, it's about time. I say, I have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren again, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman, not guilty.
Not guilty.
Good on ya.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Slam the tables together. Oh, it's so cool. We beat him again. Again, they never said he was like undefeated, so like this is just, it doesn't feel as good as like as I thought it would before, but hey. Very well, Mr. Second Nasume. I hereby pronounce you not guilty. Oh, yes, Lord, sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture, and may you never again be brought before me. Oh, yes, sir, of course. All my life. I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. Transported, 2 tears. Ah. Thank you, counsels. Court adjourned. '20th of February, 3:17 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant Antechamber. Wait, you mean me? Of course. Is there a locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruto Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, at last, I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation! Yeti, hearty, happiness, hurrah! Oh, I am pleased. Miss Nasumi is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink! Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that! Lovely, loyal, locum, lawyer! Yes? I mean, as I said before, I've just never gotten to used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners, I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback. Okay. Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you locum lawyer gave me a gloom to the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare. I'm Irish. It's something I just do. Laying bare to the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold, the best barrister Eve ever born!" Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount my old friends back in Japan. An anecdote? Is that what's become of all my hard work? And there you are, my dear fellows. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes. How you doing, bud? I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. I see I'm here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh. The trial has begun. Shall begin presently, Mr. Naruto. And I wish you the very best of luck. What? It's just finished. Yeah, I thought he was going to say it was another one. Well, no, then my haste was in vain. Ah! It's you, Sherlock Sholmes. Have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsumi, the man you arrested, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming. He is very charming, isn't he? This is all your fault. Hey, now, I love you, bud, but don't start on Mr. Sholmes, because we'll beat you up together. We'll jump you outside. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Had you been taken to the hospital more urgently, perhaps you would have been regained to consciousness by now. Oh. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind now. What was that you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Yeah, because he got scolded too. Yeah, get him, Sholmes, get him. Get him. I do love Herlock Sholmes' character, and I love how we've interacted with him thus far as well. That was quite priceless. Poor Suzeki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper.
Oh, Lord Van Zeeks.
I haven't forgotten, you know. By facing that man when the court means so he might die. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed. I'd leave for Japan. I'd go as far as I could.
If the Reaper is trying to make you trouble, I will protect you.
Oh, Susato. Hiya! Why us? Susato! Susato, what are you doing? Much like being turned on my head, a bit of warning might be nice next time, Mrs. Otto. Someone says to me, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experience with your friends back in Japan? Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh. It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been in honor with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the city has shaped. And I've come to realize it's my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it.
That's very touching, Mr. Natsume.
Or in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse. That's not it at all. I mean, I'd do it too. I would do it too at this point. The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen on my own work. A work of my own.
Oh, I see.
A work of literature by Suzeki-san. Could it be an interesting read?
And what about Mr. Zato and yourself, Mr. Naruto? Sorry, what about us?
Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot?
Why would we? A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we've finally found our feet.
Are you accommodated in the hotel at present, are you not?
That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights
before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you could take my lodgings.
Oh, the windowless room?
Yeah, but what it lacks in windows is more to make up for on the floor and ceiling and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit.
You'd leave that for us?
Oh yes. If it tries to suffocate you while you sleep, it's okay. Yeah, come on, dude. Susato goes, one thing's still bothering me. Think about it if that's alright.
Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative? Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Yes. Yes.
A vacancy is completely presented itself. Though it's up in the attic, I might add. I'll take an attic.
Are you sure it's just a storage loft?
I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of the price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of?
Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited by take luggage in the great detective's office's attic. I'm too overcome for words.
So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then.
I think this is a good idea.
Then it's settled. I also prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you, and yes.
Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete a paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long.
Somebody's happy. Yeah, she's great. She's fantastic. It'll let her be happy. Welcome. I knew you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London.
Likewise, Mr. Natsumi. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon.
Well, I've come to realize I belong in Japan. But look, we'll meet again someday. I hope we do.
Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer.
Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author.
Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruto?
Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I've little doubt Mr. Natsumi will be released in time for dinner this evening. So we have a new house. And so, with Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home. Really nice. It's actually really nice. I would love to. I'd live here. Oh my god. The attic room? Oh, we're still going? It's nice. Beggars can't be choosers. You can choose all you want.
It's to be our new office, yes. Our office? I've already liked the sound of that. Me too, it's simply wonderful, isn't it?
This music beat is so good. I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It reminds me of the music beats in Phoenix Wright.
It's only a small step. But I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now.
So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Oh my. Hi. Hi there. Oh wow. It's delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you.
I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsumi arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be charged of salad. Splendid.
Susie. Susie's a good nickname. So, Mr. Naruto, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? We have our own office now, right? We're getting bigger. We won 2 cases, won 2 trials. 3 trials, 1 in Japan, 2 here, I suppose. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Well, this is adventures, isn't it? Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London. Oh god, what? British people live here? I know that. It's not that much of a dark truth.
Sorry?
London is a glorious place full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights... No, he's not that handsome. I'm sorry, guys. I thought he was from the side. No. Cats of the darkest shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So once again, Miss Naruto. Welcome to London. That's so scary in a way, right? Isn't that such an eerie thing to say? Of course, at the time, I had no idea the significance of those words Mrs. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. And is that to be continued? Because that is the end. Oh, it's not to be continued. Of course, it's end. Yeah. Landed in London. Episode 4. Yes, we will save our current progress. Thank you. I have been recording for like 2 hours and a half. Which is fine. It was a very good trial. The next trial we have is the Hound of the Baskervilles. The Hound is not okay. So I wonder if the last case. My theory is the last case is gonna have to do with the guy again, the Reaper. That we're gonna maybe have to put him away in prison or something, or prove that he's innocent or something like that. That might be cool. We run the last trial. We got here. It took not as long as we thought. I think some people thought this series is gonna be the longest series that we have on the channel, but no, it didn't take that long. And I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.